Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy EFL Show, sponsored and produced by That Millwall Podcast, a show made by the fans, for the fans, just like this one. Now, let's get straight into it without delay. It was a double championship game week in week 13, and it did not fail to deliver. Mental results everywhere. What about Millwall? I mean, unbelievable results going on in game week 13. What about Swansea picking up another win? Derby picking up a win as well. What about Mark Robbins falling victim to poor form and losing his job at Coventry? I want to hear your thoughts on that. What about Watford picking up that massive 6-2 win? Who had Bio in their team? Well, did we have any of these scenarios or any of these players in our team for game week 13? If you tuned in, you would know the team already, but let's just go over the game week 13 team that I had. And this is what we went with. We finished with 109 points. Really good return. Was really happy with the picks. Went with a 2-3-1, as we spoke about. Victor Janssen in goal. 15-point return. Really, really solid there. 11 points in the 2-0 away win at Blackburn. 8 saves, 1 clean sheet, picked up 11 points. And then the home win, 3 saves. Obviously conceded that goal, but 4 points on the board for him. Sirkin, 2 draws, but crucially, 2 0-0 draws, both away from home as well. Got a clean sheet, 3 clearances, 8 points in the game against Preston North End in the midweek, and then 1 clean sheet, 5 tackles in the game against QPR, picking up real solid points. Stewart, 9 points. That loss against Millwall, massive result for Millwall against Leeds United. Luca Nin, 10 points. KMB, my vice captain, 4 points. Romain Esse picked up 4, but my captain signs. Norwich had a bit of an indifferent week, picked up 20 points, as my captain, sure most of you did. 8 points in the game against Cardiff, where he got the goal, 3 shots on target. And then in that big loss against Sheffield Wednesday, only 2 points, only played 90 minutes, didn't register a shot on goal. But where I really hit the points total was in my 2 team picks. Sheffield United, 1-0 down, picking up a 2-1 win late into injury time away at Bristol City. With that away win, with 2 goals, and again, an away win at Blackburn Rovers, picking up 11 points and scoring 2 goals, 20 points. Sunderland chipped in, like I said, 2 draws, but 10 points. That's steady points in a double game week, taking the total to 109 points this week. Where does that leave us in the league table? Well, 33rd at the moment, but let's take a look at the top performers for this. As you can see, I'm there in 12th place. Very, very good week for me, a much better week for me, but sitting at the top for game week 13, Bidwellius Boys, managed by El Fandon. Great return there, 127. Captain Haji Wright. Look at the points total for Haji Wright there. Picked up 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 key passes. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 key passes, and then 90 minutes played in that. Captained him though, and picked up 26 points. Science as well. Eccles, really good return from Eccles, picking up 1 assist, 1 goal in the game in the 3-0 win against Middlesbrough away from home. Hamer, vice captain Sirkin, and Johansson for the reasons that we laid out why I picked, and Stewart, but good team picks. Sheffield United, as I said, was a banker this week. Wycombe Wanderers as well. Look at that 5-0 win they picked up away from home as well. Massive points there. 2+ goals, clean sheet, away win. Remember, these away wins, pick your teams with the favourable fixtures away from home, because you get the extra points. So it's got the that win in that single game week. Went with a bit of a risk, not picking up two teams. But as you see, that one game, 11 points, and my Sunderland only picked up 10. So really, really good return for Bidwellius Boys. Where does that leave the table overall? Well, let's look at the top 10. JPFC sitting at the top again, still at the top, 30-point cushion. EFL Fantasy Josh moves up, back up to the table, moving towards the top on 114 this week. Really good return, 933. Take it as even inevitable, picking up moving up to third and fourth place respectively with a 4-point difference. Just Lewitt moves down into fifth on 918, joint with Teddy Tubbses, who moves up to sixth. Daksev moves up, right up on 917, 1 point behind fifth place. Evans above moves down with 910, 7 points behind. Waymaker stays at 9 with 904, and running down the wing, Yuki moves up to 10 on 903, and very own Greensy Lions drops out the top 10 down to 12th with 893 on a 99-point week. Now, let's take a look now at game week 13. There is a game in game week 14. Sorry, there is a double header in the Championship. It is Burnley up against West Brom. This show might not go out before that, but I want to warn you about that. I do have picks in my team. Now, I haven't selected my captain or my vice captain yet, so don't pay too much attention to that because I haven't picked them out yet. But I've changed formation. I've gone with a 3-2-1 because defenders seem to be picking up so many points. You can get them clean sheet points, them interception points. If they could pop up with a goal, clearances, defenders seem to get the share load of the points in fantasy at the moment. So I advise going with more at the back, go with a 3-2-1 to get them points. It seems to be working. There seems to be a common theme around the league, but I have gone with James Trafford. Has a double game week coming up, like I said, up against Swansea and West Brom. So really like the pick there. Same for Josh Brownhill. Josh Brownhill has had a very good season so far. He's 19.1% selected. Let's look at his results. Not really good in the last couple of weeks. You know, falling at a loss to Millwall, drawing at QPR, drawing at Hull. But I do expect him to pick up and Burnley to pick up this week with the game against West Brom, which will be tough. But the game at home against Swansea is where I really look for Burnley to probably turn things back around. As you can see, 7 goal involvements in 13 appearances, 10 interceptions, 13 key passes. Does the best of both worlds, does Brownhill. Look to get him in. Poku, someone who is a prominence in Fantasy EFL. Very, very good at the moment. Look at that, 11 goal involvements in 14 appearances, 20 key passes, averaging over a shot on target every game. Let's look at the points total. 11 points, goal and assist in that 5-1 defeat of Blackpool a few weeks ago. 3 points last time out in the 1-0 loss, but Poku is someone who does deliver on a regular basis. Now, we've gone with the back three, like I said. Sirkin, 18% selected, averaging 8 points per week, 17 points last week out, 9 clean sheets, 9 goals conceded, 38 clearances, 50 tackles, 8 points, 9 points, 8 points. Very consistent. I like the matchup for Sunderland against Coventry, who just obviously sacked Mark Robbins. Really fancy them this week at home as well. Jay Cooper, 0.7% selected Jay Cooper. But let's look at Millwall's form. They're absolutely flying at the moment. 14 points in the 1-0 win against Leeds. 14 points in the 1-0 win against Burnley. 7 points in the 1-0 win against Swansea. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. The one thing you could say about Millwall at the moment is they are defensively very, very good, very organised, very disciplined. Jake Cooper in his last 2, goal, assist. Look for Cooper away at Stoke to have a bit more of a defensive effort. Stoke at home will like to go after Millwall, so look for Jake Cooper to pick up some points. Picked up Stewart, who is 10.3% selected, 9 points in the last game week, 6.4 averaged. Leeds are flying, obviously. He's had a really, really good weeks. One of the better defenders in the Championship. Picked up a lot of points. QPR at home will be a game that I expect Leeds to come out and dominate from the off and really impose himself after a disappointing week for Leeds. And then the striker, someone who you may not have heard of, but has been popping up recently on a lot of feeds. 0.7% selected is Richard Coney coming to the side, averaging 5 points. I expect that to really, really take off. If you look at his stats, 30 appearances, 8 goals, 10 key passes, 15 on targets. But look at his recent point haul in that 5-0 win last time out away at Stockport. 2 goals, 4 shots on target. He's been very, very good. He has a little bit of a drop off, but again, hat trick. That's where a lot of his goals has come from. It's put him as a prominent figure in Wycombe's side. And the last time out, like I said, that 5-0 win, look for Wycombe to really want to stretch it against Wigan away and really go after the jugular, scoring 8 goals in their last 2 without conceding, 11 in their last 3, only conceding 2. Look for Kone to be that player. So what are we going to do with our captain and vice captain pick? Well, I mentioned about the defenders picking up most of the points. So let's go with some defenders. Let's captain Struick. Let's captain him at home to QPR for the reasons that I laid out. QPR are really, really struggling. They're at home, Leeds. Very, very good team at home. Very hard team to beat. They will go after QPR, like I said, after a disappointing week. Very same thing for Sirkin. Let's vice captain him at home to Coventry. Sunderland flying in the league at the moment. And Coventry, we don't know what Coventry are going to be, but, you know, it's not really a good week for Coventry to go and play Sunderland away. You know, it's not really a good week for anyone to go play Sunderland away at the moment. But when you've just sacked your manager who's been there for a very, very long time, there's going to be some issues. That's the captain and the vice captain pick that we are going to go with this week. Team-wise, the same reasons that I've laid out. Now, I like to pick teams that are playing away from home because you can get the extra points that I said. But I just really, really like the matchups this week. Like I said, Sunderland at home to Coventry, Leeds United at home to QPR, 2 majorly struggling teams. Expect both of them to deliver this week. So what does that mean in terms of fixtures then? Let's have a look at what we have got coming up in the Championship game week 14. Well, you've got that double for Burnley. They start the week Thursday night, 8 p.m. on the 7th, away at West Brom. West Brom have gone off the boil a little bit. Couple of draws, goals have kind of dried up. Burnley the same. Expect this to be a very cagey affair. I don't think either team will want to lose. The Burnley fans are putting a lot of pressure on Scott Parker. Is this the time that they turn it round? Watford go to Oxford, at home to Oxford, sorry. Again, 8 o'clock on the Friday night. Watford, you know, last time out been really, really good. But then look at what happened after that. They take on Oxford United, who bit indifferent. I do like what Oxford have to offer. I think they could be a good team in the Championship. Cardiff have had a bit of a resurgence. They kick off the early kickoff against Blackburn Rovers at home. Borough also the early kickoff at home to Luton, who have kind of steadily starting to put some points on the board. Luton had a good win the other night, but some injury problems and suspension problems as well. Stoke take on Millwall. Really tough game. That is one game I cannot call. Millwall away from home are a little bit indifferent, but going there full of momentum, full of buzziness, full of happiness, full of let's get after them. That's what Millwall are going to be feeling this week. Is it going to be a game too far for Millwall? Who knows? But at the moment, they're flying. Early kickoff. The 3 o'clock kickoffs, then we have Derby County at home to Plymouth Argyle. That is going to be a big one. Derby, first away win against Coventry this season. They looked pretty good. They're a big physical side. Plymouth, well, they're struggling, aren't they? But they got that late winner the other night to save some skin for Wayne Rooney and for Plymouth. Leeds at home to Queen's Park Rangers on the 3 o'clock kickoff, with Norwich taking on Bristol City and Portsmouth at home to Preston North End. We spoke about Sunderland versus Coventry as well. But the game of the weekend for me, the early kickoff on the 10th, and that is Sheffield United take on Sheffield Wednesday, the big derby. I expect Sheffield United to come away with that. Really, really good team. Sheffield Wednesday, they do get up for the derby games. These derby games are very, very good games. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. That could go either way, but I think Sheffield United will take it. And then we have a 1 o'clock kickoff, Hull City versus West Bromwich Albion. And then Burnley cap off their double game week and the Championship week on a 3 o'clock on the 10th at home to Swansea. League One fans, let's see what we got for you this week. Barnsley, Rotherham on the 8th at 7:15 on the 9th. 12:30 kickoffs. You have Burton taking on Shrewsbury, Wrexham at home to Mansfield Town. What a game that could be. Birmingham take on Northampton at 3 o'clock. Bristol Rovers and Crawley both at home to Lincoln and Huddersfield respectively. Exeter welcome Charlton at 3 o'clock. Leyton Orient welcome Blackpool. Peterborough, as we spoke about, Kwame Poku take on Cambridge United at home. Stevenage welcome Reading. Stockport on the back of that hammering welcome Bolton Wanderers. And it finishes off with Wickham travelling to Wigan, where hopefully Coney can deliver on the away and get the goals that we need from our striker this week. League Two then, let's have a look. 12:30 kickoffs there as well on the 9th. Harrogate Town take on Morecambe. Salford City welcome Carlisle. AFC Wimbledon, Grimsby, AFC Wimbledon, really, really like what they're doing. And a big win for them as well against MK Dons. Credit to them. I think most of us like to see that. But then it's all 3 o'clock kickoffs from Wimbledon onwards. Barrow and Cheltenham Town at home to Colchester and my local team, Bromley Town. Chesterfield and Doncaster at home to Accrington and Notts County. Doncaster and Notts County should be a really good game. Andy Cook and Bradford travel to Fleetwood Town while Gillingham take on Port Vale, high-flying Port Vale. MK Dons welcome Swindon Town. Tranmere take on Newport and Walsall take on Crewe Alexander. They are your game week 14 fixtures. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your teams. Send me your comments. I appreciate your love. Well, me and Ben appreciate your love, your support, your subscription, your just all your comments, all the dialogue that we have. We appreciate that every single week. Do us a favor, please like, please share, please subscribe to the channel. It helps us abundantly. It makes us feel good that we're delivering some good content for yourselves. This show will go out as a podcast. It will then go out for the live view so you can see my ugly mug talk about my team and hopefully give you the tips that you need that you can succeed in game week 14. And with that, we will see you on the next one.